Let's start our session. This is Sai Pranindra from SQL School, and this particular session today is all about data engineering in Azure Microsoft Cloud, a trending and always evergreen market, always trending technology. Azure Data Engineer, trust me, it has lot of job scope and crores of companies, billions of projects are dependent on this data engineering technology. And I assure you, complete practical step-by-step classes. You need to assure me, yes, you will do on-time practice. Please, my kind request. Over 2 decades of my experience, completely, exclusively in the database platform, I can assure you, I can guide you, and I will surely meet your expectations, making the classes interactive, step by step. At the same time, they should be useful, easy to capture the things. As a data engineer, we are into the red box you see on the screen. In the red box, what is that? Yes, as a data engineer, we are responsible for implementing something called ETL, extract, transform, and load. We extract data from various sources. It may be IoT, Internet of Things. Mostly by mid of this week, in next 3-4 days, we have example for IoT, Internet of Things, like reading live temperature practically from a sensor, a room temperature sensor. We read the data. I'll provide you the complete app access for it. We can read data from IoT, Internet of Things, like room temperatures, our mobile devices, GPS navigation systems. Those are all IoT devices we call practically. We'll involve in doing it. We can also access the data from websites. Part of our course, we'll be using something called EPL match data. EPL, England Premium League football match data. We are going to practically use it and understand how to read data from various web pages in parallel. We have apps. We have something called Raspberry apps given by Microsoft, free of cost for our practice and learning. We'll be doing it. We can also read data from forms, files, legacy systems like DAT files or old text files, etc. Part of our classes. So we read the data from various sources, and few sources we load them into database OLTP, and from there we get this into the red box. Few other sources we read them live from the actual source into the red box. The red box is our actual course. So we read data from various sources. Remember, in real world, assume for example our SQL school. Yes, we get inquiries from third party. We pay them. We get inquiries from Google Forms, our SQL school website forms, sometimes from Insta, Facebook, LinkedIn, Telegram, sometimes directly on WhatsApp from my references, right? And other channels as well. So all this data has to be consolidated at somewhere, right? That is database, OLTP. What next? After few months or few years, what if we need to send some promotions? For example, next month we are celebrating 20 years, and a series of free webinars for all our previous students, celebrating on the occasion of the 20 years completion. So we need to maintain all the data somewhere, right? That is warehouse or warehouse, go down. Yes, you will log into your bank portal. The online or the recent transactions or the OLTP, live real-time data, recent transactions, old transaction data you use for applying for loans, that is the warehouse. Now the question here, how to get the data from, or how to extract data from left and load it to the right. How to extract data from the source, the live real-time data and the IoT apps and other web pages. How to load them to the godown, warehouse. There comes ETL, extract, transform, load. We have ADF, Azure Data Factory, Microsoft Flavor, and Azure Databricks, open source extension used in Microsoft. Simply say a open source flavor. I repeat, we have ADF, Azure Data Factory, Microsoft way of implementing ETL without any code, codeless, drag and drop. There is an open source item called Databricks. Here comes Python. Python ETL part of my classes. We have exclusive Python part of my classes that we need to learn and implement for Databricks. So for Databricks module, we have to start with Python first. We will do in our classes and slowly step into the actual Databricks implementations. Then finally understand when to use which, when to go for Azure Data Factory, when to go for Azure Databricks, and more importantly, how to combine them together. Really, they are good friends. I repeat again, there are different ways to implement ETL. One is zero code, ADF, very famous. Other one is with Python, PySpark, ADB, Azure Databricks, very flexible. So both are equally important for us. And there is a common friend called storage. We are going to configure the storage account today. We'll start from the scratch carefully, but we need to learn it practically, understanding what is what. It's important for us. So I request you to follow the things carefully. Take print copies of the notes every day from today. All our examples will be revolving and rotating around this particular diagram. Once we have the data into the warehouse, then comes analysts, data analyst job roles, reporting activities. They report data from the SQL pool or the Spark database. These are the warehouses. So in our Azure Data Engineering classes, yes, the list is a bit vast. We need to do justice to all concepts you see on the screen. We have Data Factory module, zero coding, 100% user interface, 24 concepts. Databricks and PySpark module, additional 24 concepts on PySpark, Python related activities from scratch. So both user interface and Python oriented ETL, both are important for us. And a common backbone that is storage and data lake. We need to implement this particular item as well. So today we are going to have certain fundamentals and slowly step into few important configurations so that we can easily expand with non-coding GUI, graphical user interface, codeless ETL and code-based ETL. Both we need to balance them carefully. So need your support. Please confirm that yes, you'll be able to practice. Please confirm to yourself that yes, you'll be able to practice minimum 1 hour every day. Please need your support. Before we step into our practical items in next few minutes, let's understand what exactly database mean to start with. Database is a platform to store any type of data and any amount of data, no exceptions, no restrictions, any type, any amount of data. What is that? Let's go back to this particular diagram again. Database can store data that is collected from IoT devices, websites, forms, apps, files, and legacy systems. Legacy means old data systems, old applications and tools, or old methods. Maybe a paper document scanned to a soft copy. It's a legacy environment. There are two types of databases. Back to my database screen. There are two types of databases, OLTP and data warehouse, two different types. OLTP stands for live online transaction processing system. Like example, the bank statement. The bank example I was giving few minutes back, the recent transactions are OLTP. And data warehouse, DWH, to store old historical data, inactive data. The warehouse, the godown. As a data engineer, we are responsible for this DWH, data warehouse. SQL developers will take care of OLTP design. You and me, we need to take care of data warehouse. We as data engineers, we need to take care of data warehouse paired with ETL, extract, transform, load, ETL concepts. In real world, the OLTP, the first database type, can be implemented by SQL developers, Oracle developers, MySQL developers, Postgres developers, and Amazon RDS developers. So different teams, different technologies, but same product, database. Just like different cars from different companies, different mobiles from different companies, here different database systems from different companies. But the purpose is same, OLTP. And that OLTP will be the source for you and me, data engineers, to implement ETL and warehouse. Majority cases. Few other cases, we need to skip the yellow box OLTP layer. Read the data directly live from applications and IoT devices. So we need to prepare in such a way, we read the data from database sources and non-database sources, structured sources and unstructured sources. Perform ETL, extract, transform, and finally load the data to the warehouse. We need to learn about Synapse, means Azure warehouse, and Spark, open source warehouse. Using ADF and ADB, Azure Data Factory and Azure Databricks. There are other ETLs in the market like Amazon Glue, Athena, Snowpark, DBT tool. So different companies came with different ETL products. For example, you take Amazon, there is Amazon Glue and Athena for Redshift. Redshift is the Amazon warehouse brand. That is AWS Data Engineering. We have an excellent trainer, Mr. Badri, who will be taking care of our AWS classes. So very talented and down to earth to address your problems if in case anyone opting for AWS in future. And Mr. Badri can also do 100% justice to Snowflake with Snowpark and DBT. I am taking care of Azure, the course that we are targeting from tomorrow, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks with Synapse, Azure Warehouse, remember. and Spark, open source warehouse. It's like transport system and the godowns. Two different transport systems and two different godowns, four combinations we need to take. What does it mean? Very simple. I repeat once again, let's make it clear. I'll just make it clear and straight. Here it is. As a data engineer, we need to involve in reading data from any data source. It can be files, databases, IoT, apps, websites, anything. And at the same time, sorry for the typo, we need to also perform transformations or any kind of joins, merge, group by, etc. We call it as mashup activities on the data. On the data we read. Finally, load data into the required destinations or warehouses. So data reading from OLTP database or remote data warehouse also, or IoT. I'm just repeating every point again and again to make it clear. We need to practice all these options, apps, websites, and others. In fact, I forgot to mention files. This is the order of our examples from tomorrow. Transformations. We have Microsoft Flavor or Microsoft Resource, I will call it now, a new technical term for us. Azure Data Factory, also called ADF. And other one we have the open source resource. Please by heart these new terms. Azure Databricks, that is involving PySpark. So ADF 100% GUI. This is 100% PySpark, as simple as that. And load data into required warehouse. What is that? Again, two different options. Microsoft Resource, Azure Synapse. And we have Azure, not Azure open source, right? This is Spark database. Yes, interestingly, both are 100% GUI for these warehouses. We are lucky enough, we have good amount of user interface here. Please take a screenshot of these three different mantras, or anyway, I'll be mailing you after the class. And good to maintain your own observation notes, please, throughout the course. Safe side. Now, let's practically understand how to step into the Azure to enjoy every bit of information you see on my screen in a meaningful way. Simple and straight. And before we proceed, yes, the notes I will take care. Complete notes, printable format, I will take care. Assignments, every concept, I repeat, every concept, you have assignments. And participants who love to submit the assignments on time, they get more assignments, really. Yes, I have few agenda items, secret agenda items for active learners. Please, you respond more, you get more in my actual classes. I'll be asking lot of questions for interaction. I'll be on camera for every class for interaction. I want your support. I want you to be interactive and write your observation notes. Send me on WhatsApp like this for our useful and fruitful resume guidance. Placement assistance comes automatically with your active participation and submission of assignments on time. Subject first, right? Please understand my concern. Things are very easy. I'll make them easy and useful for you. I am here to do that. What you do, please, on time practice required. That's enough. That's enough. Nothing else. Remaining all I'll take care. Not just ETL and warehouse. I'll be guiding you in the classes how easy it is to implement DevOps with data engineering, AI with data engineering. Remember, AI is just like salt and pepper in our kitchen. It comes into every dish. Really. So we cannot see AI separate. It's not a separate cuisine. It's not a separate, dish. It's not a separate recipe. AI is just like salt and pepper in our kitchen. It comes everywhere, right from our OS operating system like Windows to Excel to SQL to cloud and to data engineering and big data. Everywhere we have AI now. It's just like our salt and pepper in our kitchen, as simple as that. And hence it's a part of my course too. You can have a lot of AI components practically, not theoretically, practically in my classes. It's just salt and pepper again and again. So yes, we'll be taking good number of components. Things are a bit vast. I need to admit the fact. Hence, I have to take them very cautiously. Need your support. Let's go slowly, step by step. And then towards end of the course, we need to have a project for our resume. Right from unstructured data sources to semi-structured transformations to fully structured data warehouses, we are going to implement 100% true project. Not for namesake, it should be a clear one for our resume. With all this introduction, let's get started now with how to step into Azure. We'll do it slowly, step by step. And any kind of questions, clarifications, you can always reach me on this number, or you can also reach my team, my happy 24/7 team on these numbers, 9666 44 0801 or 64. I'll be available in person at my office on Saturdays in High-Tech City, Hyderabad, in case anyone is nearby or anyone traveling to Hyderabad, India, in case. Or sometimes on Fridays also. And majority of my classes would be live, interactive, like this on camera. I mean to say I'm available to address your questions if any, either in person or live online. With this, let's get started now with our lab plan. Let's go slowly, step by step with our course. So to start our practice, yes, we are into core Azure here. The prerequisites SQL. So attendees who wanted to have a recap of SQL are new to database, new to IT, or new to, very new to data platform. They may start with SQL first, go for data engineering next. The combo course, SQL plus data engineering. Attendees are already aware of SQL, no programming required. Basics of SQL should be enough. For them, welcome to the core engineering stuff. Let's start from the scratch. Once again, complete ETL, I will take care. Whatever technology is required for ETL, right from Python, introduction. Python required for ETL, part of my course. Spark required for ETL, part of my course. Azure required for ETL, part of my course. No problem. Only prerequisite for Azure Data Engineering, SQL. So go for SQL plus Azure combo if needed. If not, directly Azure. Let's get started now with how to get into Azure. Before we step into Azure cloud, Cloud is a virtual environment to host any data or applications. Easy, secured, and faster. How to access them? Using web URLs and tools. These are the things we are going to get them configured in our classes today and next class. What is that? Web URL like from browser and tools like Storage Explorer tool. Something like this you see here on my screen, this one. We are going to configure such tools to do our practice step by step. What is Azure? A Microsoft cloud platform to host, secure, and manage applications and data. There are different clouds like Azure cloud, AWS cloud, Google cloud, etc. But Azure is cheaper, easy to use, very user friendly. And it can store any type of data, any amount of data. Suits Windows and non-Windows platforms. This is also part of our classes. We need to work with open source environments. For PySpark, part of my classes, I'll be showing you Ubuntu OS. We need them for our day-to-day safe job work. So as a data engineer, it's all about ETL. I was mentioning since starting of our class today. Now, how to step into this ETL? Yes, for this, we need to configure Azure account. Once you configure Azure account, we are involved in these common job roles I was mentioning in the PPT slide few minutes back. It's all about ETL, big data loads, Spark clusters, data factory, Databricks, Stream Analytics, Spark, PySpark, SQL pool, Spark databases, and data lake. Implement data models, data analytics, security, pipelines, CI/CD pipelines we call, notebooks, ETL pipelines, and end-to-end implementations. So here it is. To become a data engineer, we are going to start from the very basics of cloud, Azure, and data warehouse concepts with big data, Hive, Python, part of my classes from scratch from the basics. So as a data engineer, we are required to responsible to implement data factory, Databricks, and Synapse and Spark. Please by heart these 4 important repeated items. We need to learn all 4 and understand how to use them together, when to use them, which and why. Prerequisites: SQL, Microsoft SQL, please revise. These are the list of concepts. I request you to take a print copy of these notes. Not only today, everyday notes, please take a print copy, file it, go through it carefully. It will save a lot of time during your practice and future reference and revision. With this content, let's step into the lab plan. Yes, to start our classes, we need to have Azure account. Go to this website, portal.azure.com. What is it? This one. Go to the website. I'll take it here. Go to new tab and type portal.azure.com. Very first time it asks you to create one. Please do this to start our classes practically, please. Create one. No account, create one. Click on create one. No account, create one. Click on create one, give your email address. You get a confirmation mail. Once you get the confirmation mail, you click on the confirmation link. Then you get one Azure portal page like something like this, asking you for additional username, password, authentication. Choose your own password and sign up. Sign up and sign in. I repeat again. What is the website name? portal.azure.com. New account, sign up with your email address and password, any password of your choice. Once you sign in, there is no credit card asked during this process or no debit card asked during this sign up process. Once we enter into Azure, then we need to start buying the resources. What is that? Resources. Here it is. I said some resources like Microsoft resource, Data Factory, Databricks resource, Synapse resource, etc. To buy these resources, we need to have something called subscription. Remember, a new term for us, subscription. Click on subscription. First account, okay? portal.azure.com, entry gate pass. Now the subscription. Click on subscription and add. Click on add, top left on my screen, add. Click on add and it will ask you to click on something called free account, free offer. This one, free trial is there, right? This free trial, it says select offer, this one. In my case, I already used my free trial. I can use it only once per email. The free trial is valid for 1 month. What we do after 1 month? Again, new email address, new debit card or credit card. You may use your virtual card also. If not, a paid account. Convert your free account to paid. Because this offer, you click on this button, anyone. For example, you click on free offer for free account. It will ask you for card details, debit card or credit card details. Once you enter the card details, then you get one subscription, free subscription created. And that subscription, free subscription you need to use for the actual classes. So get your free account ready, free subscription ready. Account is always free anyway. Subscription we need to create it. Make it free subscription for now to start our practice classes. Once your subscription is created, then we need to slowly step into our practice creating our own resources. What resources? Yes, we need to create resources like Data Factory. I go to a grocery shop. I buy few items. Here in the Azure shop, the items are called the resources. Data Factory resource, Databricks resource, Synapse, Data Lake, etc. I am listing you a good list of resources. Here it is, a small table. Please go through all these items carefully. We are going to practically involve in them. So what we did so far? Azure account first, subscription next. So Azure account blue, subscription yellow. Inside that different colors, green, blue, etc. resources. These resources are grouped into something called resource group for easy billing and management. Very simple. I go to a grocery shop, I buy few items and put them in a basket. Buy few more items like oils or ghee or whatever, I put them into a separate basket. That is another resource group. I go over the corner, I see some non-veg items, I put them in the third basket. That is Third resource group. I know how to organize my food items in a food mart. Here we need to know how to organize the resources in the Azure mart. Remember, those shopping baskets are nothing but the resource groups. Remember that. So resources are the items and resource group are the actual baskets grouping the resources. Any item or component you buy in Azure cloud is called a resource. The server, the database, the warehouse, the data factory item, the storage item, the data lake, etc. 20 plus resources we are going to learn practically in our classes. But how to group them again? Resource group. Remember the terminology. With this, we'll stop for now. I request you to get the Azure account and Azure subscription. Get them handy for a zero compromise learning process. We'll do it slowly, step by step. The core Azure items give me about 2 months time for Azure. 6 to 6.5, 7 weeks for the live classes and 1 week for the project only for Azure engineering part. SQL, you have to give me extra 3 weeks in case you want to take part of it, take part inside it. Let's have zero compromise learning process slowly, step by step. Need your support? Get your account ready to start our lovely classes, live interactive. Thank you so much. Have a nice time. Thank you and see you from tomorrow. Thank you once again.